Good morning, children. As you know, due to pandemic disease, because of pandemic, all are staying at home. Stay safe and stay healthy. And myself, Vanishri, I am physics lecturer in this Sri Guru Independent PU College, which is a prestigious college in the Hyderabad, Karnataka region, and all are known about the Naxars College also. And today I am starting the physics chapter, which is gravitation. Remember, our previous HOD has already started the bridge course as well as the first chapter, units and measurements. But now I am starting the chapter gravitation. You may be knowing the one chapters, but once again I recall you what are the chapters in the part 1, and that I am starting gravitation. Okay. So you know, as per the PU board syllabus, prescribed syllabus, there are two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1, this is my lecture 1 class. In part 1, I am starting gravitation. Oh, everyone have heard about the gravitation in your school days, but at the same time you may be knowing about the Newton's law of gravitation and some concept about escape velocity, orbital velocity, all those things. But even then, it is my duty, I'll just go through each and everything in this chapter. And also remember, this PUC first year, here you will learn everything in detail with the derivations, and most of the concepts which are very clear, which you are not yet learned in your school days. Okay. And remember, in this gravitation chapter, the topics which are covered in this chapter are, first we come across introduction. Second one, Kepler's laws. Third one, universal law of gravitation. Fourth one, gravitational constant. Gravitational constant. Fifth one, acceleration due to gravity. Of the earth. And sixth topic, where you learn acceleration due to gravity above and below the surface of Earth. Next is gravitational potential energy. Next comes escape speed. Escape speed. Next comes Energy of the orbiting satellite. Energy of the orbiting satellite. Next comes the Earth satellites. I can also say here before this the one here the ninth topic itself, Earth satellites. Before that I can say the 11th topic is energy of the orbiting satellite, and the 12th topic is the one you come across the orbital velocity as well as the geostationary satellites. Geostationary satellites and polar satellites. Next comes weightlessness. So please observe, all these are very important chapter which you come across these topics under this gravitation chapter. Okay, and one more point I want to say here, this chapter is very important as per the PU board exam point of view as well as for any competitive exams. At present, I want to say about, as per the prescribed syllabus, I can say about the one regarding this chapter, the topics, the one covered is, lectures required is 8 periods as per the PU board syllabus. Allotted marks is of 9. You can say one more point here, let me write the total periods. I can say total periods, where I can say here it is total 9 periods. Allotted marks is 8 marks. So please remember, as per your PU board first year question paper which is of 70 marks, among 70 marks you expect 8 marks from this chapter alone itself, and this is very important as per the first year PUC board exam. Similarly, it is also important with respect to competitive exams where you expect compulsory question from this chapter. Okay, and one more point I want to say, how you expect these questions in your theories paper as well as in the CET questions. Okay, I just recall once again. Please remember. See, this chapter gravitation, you come across introduction, Kepler's laws, universal law of gravitation. You also name them as the one symbol capital G, where you might be knowing in your school days. This is the gravitational constant. You determine the gravitational constant here. And the next comes the one acceleration due to gravity. The symbol is small g. So be prepared. This capital G and small g are totally different. So this is small g. At the same time, you come across acceleration due to gravity above and below the surface of the earth. Above and below the surface of the earth. Similarly, you come across gravitational potential energy. And the next topic is escape speed. You may also call it as escape velocity. And the next comes the one Earth satellites. Earth satellites. At the same time, you also learn about the satellites regarding the energy of orbiting satellites. At the same time, you learn geostationary satellites as well as polar satellites. The last part we come across weightlessness. So these are the very important topics you learn under this chapter, and most of the derivations are there in this chapter, and also concept based questions you come across. So let me highlight you one by one. Okay. Right. One more point I want to say here, how the one as per the PU board syllabus, the prescribed syllabus, you expect the question. I said total 8 marks. You expect from this. Remember, in the UC first year syllabus, you have the prescribed examination pattern of paper. Maximum marks is 70. Maximum marks is 70. Okay. And in this, we come across the one part A. What is this part A means? Totally it is of 1 mark questions. It is only 1 mark question. And next comes part B. This is only a 2 mark questions each. Each question carries a 2 mark. And here part C, where you expect each question is of 3 mark. Next comes part D. We call it as essay type question. We may also get derivations here, and that is of 5 mark question. And this is the maximum 5 mark we expect in UC board exams in physics. Next comes part E, where this part E completely consists of problems. In your school days, you might have only focused to 1 and 2 mark problems, but in PUC first year and second year, you come across the maximum 5 mark problem. So remember, according to the PU board syllabus, total marks is maximum 70, and this will be including part A, which is only 1 mark question, part B only 2 mark, part C only 3 mark questions, D 5 mark, and this is 5 mark problems. Especially I say part E consists of, especially this is problems. Okay. So in this chapter, where I said 1 mark question, you may also expect one 1 mark question and one 2 mark question. That is 1 question, right? 1 question. So this is of 1 mark, this is 2 mark. And sometimes you may also expect one 5 mark derivation. So let me say now it is totally 8 mark. Okay? You have every possibility. Sometimes you may also get part A question 1, part B 1, and only part E, that is 1 problem. Here this is of 5 mark, this is 2 mark, this is 1 mark. So now especially you are expecting the problem here in this one. Sometimes you may need not get 1 or 2 mark question, directly you may get part C. Part C, 1 question which is of 3 mark, and part D which is of 1, this is 5 marks. Again it is total 8. So be prepared. You have all these type questions. Sometimes only 1 mark, 2 mark, and 1 5 mark derivation, or you may expect 1 mark, 2 mark question, 1 at the same time 1 problem, and at the same time you may also expect neither getting 1 mark nor 2 mark, directly go for 3 mark, 1 question and 1 is 5 mark. So every possibility to get 8 mark question from this. So you have all type of questions here. You need not restrict only problem, only derivation. You have all possibilities to get these type of questions. Okay. Now this I said because coming days after completing our syllabus, we also conduct the test in our regular monthly test or maybe board exam, preparatory exam. So as and when you expect 70 marks, the one pattern which you have to follow, and according to this, from this chapter we expect 8 marks. Okay? Right. Now, let me just one more point I want to say here. From this gravitation, let me go for our main syllabus. Just now I gave introduction regarding the one syllabus, topics which are there in this chapter, and also the allotted marks from this. So be prepared for every test and everything. Okay. At the same time, I want to say one more point regarding competitive exam questions from this chapter. So remember, compulsory you expect in Karnataka CET one question from gravitation. That is KSET. Compulsory you expect. Maybe the one comment K questions. Right? Comment K. Maybe you may expect JEE. Mains. Compulsory question. NEET. And others, it may, or whatever the other competitive exams you write, in all these compulsory expect the question from gravitation. At the most I want to say, Karnataka CET question, it is only for 1 mark question, it is only one mark, but there you will never expect the one direct question. Sometimes you expect concept based, maybe sometimes solving problems, all this we will expect, even comment K you get it. But JEE, mains and here, each question is of 4 marks, so compulsory expect one 4 mark question where here you require nearly 2 to 3 steps to solve the problem or maybe to solve the question. So compulsory remember, you expect in all the competitive exams the question from gravitation. Hope everyone have understood this. You have to follow and be prepared for the board exam, maybe competitive exam. At the same time, I want to say one more point. It's a very interesting chapter, and also remember, you feel very interesting to learn all the concepts which you come across in your day-to-day life. So in all walks of life you learn physics. So even the one person who doesn't like physics, they also come across all the concepts in their day-to-day life. But at the same time, you student have already opted physics, and be prepared to learn physics and also learn the things correctly with their concept based questions, everything compulsory, and enjoy the physics where in your day-to-day life. In all walks of life you come across physics. Okay, so let me go for our D1 syllabus. Let me just go for the one syllabus. So hope everyone have understood the things correctly. Now let me go for the one syllabus. Here I said earlier in this gravitation, the first concept we learn about introduction. What do you come across in introduction? In the beginning of the humanity, all the people were curious enough to learn about the things why every day we learn that one see in our nature there is a sunrise and sunset. So everyone were astonished to see that in every morning they used to see the one sun rises from east, and by the evening sun sets in the west. So every day they observe the one rising of sun, nothing but sunrise and sunset. At the same time, they were curious enough to see that here all the stars, maybe the moon, planets were seen in the one universe where you come across during night time they used to see the stars, and all these were seen in the nature, and they were curious enough to know about these things. And everyone were thinking why every day sun rises only in the east and why it always sets in the west. At the same time they used to see the moon at night. So again the next day you used to see the one moon. At the same time you also observe, if I throw the object up, any ball or any chalk piece if I throw up, that will fall to the ground. And you will be curious enough to see why always object towards the earth. And also remember, the one during the rainy season, you may see the raindrops are falling towards the earth. And by looking all these things, you feel why they fall towards, why they can't go up always, when you throw up, why always it falls towards the ground. Similarly, the one Newton, you might be knowing, a great scientist of India, that is where the scientist has observed the apple which is falling towards the earth. By looking to the one apple falling to the earth, he observed why this is happening in this universe. At the same time, he also observed the one rising of sun and also the one setting of sun, why always the sun is at the center, earth is revolving around the sun, what is the reason behind this. All this he made to observe, and because of this, today we observe the one, according to him, gravitational law, where you also call it as Newton's law of gravitation. But alone this phenomena did not arise in one day, but this has happened nearly 100 years to observe these things. Alone the one Newton did not find this. Before him, many philosophers were thinking about this, and because of this, their work, today we observe the one, all these concepts, why it happens and why we are learning these concepts in our day-to-day life. Okay, so before going to this, just let me tell you, in the early days, in 2nd century, an astronomer, maybe one you can also call it as, and one astronomer means the one person who is always looking to the one astronomical bodies. He observes the one astronomical bodies and explains about the astronomical objects, then we call it as an astronomer. And here we come across the first person, that is Greek astronomer in the 2nd century, Greek astronomer by name Ptolemy. Thinking over all these things, the philosopher, maybe you can also call it as an astronomer, Ptolemy, he observed the one earth is at the center. You can say earth is at the center and all the planets were revolving, and sun, maybe the other planets were revolving around the earth. And he also said the earth is stationary. According to him, he said the earth is stationary. Earth is stationary. But the remaining planets, maybe the sun, all were revolving around this earth. According to him, we also call it as, this earth is said to be called Geo. Earth is said to be called Geo, and at the same time, that is stationary means it is at rest. The earth is at rest. And this earth is at rest, and remaining all other planets were revolving around the earth, and that is in the form of circle. He used to say in the form of circle, we call it as epicycle. Epicycle. So, in the 2nd century, according to Greek astronomer, he observed the earth is at the center, that is stationary, and remaining all other planets and the sun were revolving around it in the form of circle. So we call that is as in the form of epicycles. So earth is at the center and it is stationary, and the remaining all other planets along with the sun were revolving around it in the form of epicycles. He observed this in the early 2nd century, where this model is called as, according to him, this model is called as geocentric model. It is called geocentric model. Okay. But this theory was not successful. According to him, he said this concept. was not agreed by others, and therefore this geocentric model was failed. Because of the failure, another scientist by name the Indian scientist, remember, you must be great enough to remember our Indian scientist in the 5th century. In 5th century, the Indian astronomer, also he is a mathematician, Indian astronomer, and also he is a mathematician. You know very well he by name Aryabhatta. In the 5th century, he said what the one Ptolemy has said was incorrect, which is a geocentric model, but at the same time he said here Aryabhatta about heliocentric theory. He said heliocentric theory. So you must be grateful enough, our Indian scientist in the early 5th century, and he is an astronomer as well as a mathematician. Aryabhatta is a heliocentric theory. According to him, where he said this sun is at the center. Sun is at the center and all other planets were revolving around it. And this is the one he said about all the other planets were revolving around it. According to him, where helio means sun. You can also call it as sun-centered theory. Also call it as heliocentric theory. According to him, it is wrong, which the Ptolemy has said. Now the sun is at the center and our earth and other planets are revolving around the sun, where he said it is earth is not stationary. Similarly, again he proved that earth is not stationary, earth is revolving around the sun. So this was explained by the one Indian astronomer as well as he is a mathematician by name Aryabhatta. At the same time, he did not say only this point, earth is revolving around the sun and rotates about its own axis. One also it will be covering the one once in 24 hours. So complete one day, you can observe one day is of 24 hours. So the rotation of the earth takes place in once in, that is nothing but one complete day where rotation of the earth takes place, that is nothing but 24 hours. So the one earth rotates about its own axis, he said, and he explained about the one rotation of the one earth about its own axis. Okay. At the same time, he explained about the one formation of days, nights, formation of days as well as formation of nights. He said about the things. At the same time, he said about the one sun-centered theory, and also he said about the one earth is not stationary. So hope you have understood the difference. Early 2nd century, Greek astronomer said about Ptolemy, where he said about the geocentric theory, where earth is at the center, it is stationary. But now, please observe, there is a change here. Instead of earth, sun-centered theory, sun is at the center and earth and other planets were revolving around the sun. Okay. Similarly, the earth is not stationary, earth is revolving around it. The next point, he said, earth rotates about its own axis. Earth rotates about its own axis. It completes one rotation in 24 hours, and he explained about the one day and night. At the same time, he explained about the day and night, formation of day and nights. And also remember, he has explained many things like solar eclipse, solar eclipses, lunar eclipses. So we should be very familiar about the one Aryabhatta, a great scientist. He explained all these things. and after him, where he said about these things, but after him, one more scientist by name Copernicus, where this one Polish astronomer, you might be knowing in your early days, Polish astronomer. Polish astronomer by name Nicolaus Copernicus. Nicolaus Copernicus. He also said about heliocentric theory. You may worry about this. Already Aryabhatta has said heliocentric theory, but again Copernicus also explained heliocentric theory. What was the reason behind this, friends? The Indian astronomer explained heliocentric theory, but that was explained and he has written the book, and this was only what was in our India. It is only in India we observe these things. This did not reach the Western countries like European countries. Hence, we could not say that it is correct. They did not agree because we have only explained on and we have written in the book, and that was only in India we said, but this was not communicated to Western countries like European countries. Hence, it was failed. But the Polish astronomer, where he also observed and he found heliocentric theory and he explained this. But there, in the European countries, the religious people did not agree this, because they did not say the sun-centered theory was not correct, because Earth is a huge mass where Earth is having maximum attraction towards all the bodies, due to which you cannot say this is correct. Earth is always at the center. They agreed. But remember, whatever he said, they did not agree and they punished him, and finally he was given a punishment, due to which it was not agreed by his theory. The one, Nicolaus, is nothing but Copernicus. Early days, in the early days, 1473, at the same time he observed this, 1473 to 1543, he said this. But remember, he was given a punishment by those religious people, and there the church, they did not agree this. Whatever he was said is not correct. It is totally wrong. They proved, and finally they gave punishment to him, due to which he was sentenced to death. The one Polish astronomer Nicolaus Copernicus. But he is a disciple by name the one Galileo. You might be knowing the famous, his genius about the one where you can observe the one Galileo. He is an Italian physicist, where I can say he is from Italy. Italian physicist. Italian physicist by name Galileo. Early days, that is nothing but in 1564 to 1642. He was the disciple of the Nicolaus Copernicus. Nothing but he was the assistant. He agreed whatever the Nicolaus Copernicus was said was correct. He was a disciple, and at the same time he agreed his theory. He agreed the one heliocentric theory. Agreed heliocentric theory. But remember, he also could not say this because, remember, he already, the one Nicolaus Copernicus was punished. So he was not able to take into punishment. Because of that, he said, the one, it is the writing he gave, the one Earth is in the center, but all the planets were revolving around it, he said. But at the same time, at the last sentence, he said, that is not correct. Whatever the heliocentric theory is correct, he said. And Galileo is a genius person, and most of them were agreed because he explained the many concepts like inertia. Today, whatever we say about inertia and many experiments in physics, that too particularly many experiments in mechanics were given by him. He has done many experiments in physics, and particularly in mechanics. At the same time, he has also given the rolling motion, sliding motions. All these things he has given. Because of this, and at the same time, the very important concept like inertia concept he has given, all were agreed to this, but at the same time, finally, he said in his he has written last sentence where that is heliocentric theory is correct, but whatever the one Copernicus was said is correctly proved. Okay, but remember, Galileo said this in the year 1564 to this period he explained this concept. The one disciple of Nicolaus Copernicus. Okay, but after him you can also observe in the year where I said the one 1473 to 1543, the one Copernicus. After him you come across one more scientist by name. Let me just erase this. The one Danish astronomer. Danish astronomer Tycho Brahe. to 1601. This Tycho Brahe, he explained about the one, he observed the sun, stars, planets in the universe, and he observed why all these stars are setting there itself. The one moon, everywhere there are planets, all were at the same positions. And even if you observe the one period, whatever the position you observe today, in the next again the same period if you observe, it is at the same position. All these were observed by this Tycho Brahe. He was observing keen observations, and he observed all this through the naked eye. Keen observation made by Danish astronomer Tycho Brahe and by his naked eye itself, because at that time there was no invention of telescope. So through naked eye only he observed all the keen observations he has done, and he collected the one maximum data. He analyzed all the one stars, position of the star, the angle of the stars, maybe the one, the distances of the one stars, all these he observed, and he has collected the one maximum data. He collected maximum data and he has written all the data in it. At the same time, he was about to give some conclusion. By that time, he was no more. Conclusion was already to give. He was supposed to give the conclusion by observing all the keen observations. By that time, he was no more. But remember, after him, his assistant by name, the one you can say Johannes Kepler. Johannes Kepler is a German physicist. Johannes Kepler, his assistant, he observed the one data which was the one given by Tycho Brahe, and the one year was, it is 1571 to 1640. observations through naked eye, observed the data because he was his assistant. So he collected all the data. Critically he analyzed. He analyzed all the data completely and he observed the one data and he formulated them in very three simple laws. By analyzing all these data, he has given three important laws. Three laws. He formulated them and analyzed and formulated them by using only three laws. And today, because of this analyzation, we call today Kepler's laws. And that was only three laws. And this, because of the planetary motions he observed, today he is famous for Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Planetary motion. So, observe now today the one Johannes Kepler, who is a German physicist. He collected all the data from Tycho Brahe and at the same time he critically analyzed them and he reduced the concepts only by formulating them in a simple way by three laws, and these three laws were known as Kepler's laws of planetary motions. Today we call them as, because of the planetary motions, today we say Kepler's laws of planetary motions. So by observing this, the one scientist by name Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton, he observed all the data of the Kepler's, and with the help of these three laws, he also, by using the planetary motions, he observed, and also he observed an apple falling to the earth. At the same time, the one planetary motions of all the earth, planet, sun, everything, and depending on that, he analyzed these laws, and finally he has given the one called, he has written one book called as Principia. He has written a book called Principia. In his Principia book, he also explained about the one law called as, today we speak about universal law of gravitation. He is famous to explain universal law of gravitation. But today we know that today universal law of gravitation was explained by Sir Isaac Newton. This is not the one day work, it was nearly 100 years of struggle of all these physicists, and because of all the formulas which are given by them, and today we are observing this universal law of gravitation. This was, remember, Tycho Brahe collected all the one materials and nothing but observing the data, analyzed the data, and he was about to conclude, but he could not do that. After him, the one data were given by the one data, whatever the astronomer was given data, the Tycho Brahe was analyzed, and this was analyzed, and these were formulated in three laws. It was analyzed and given the three basic laws, that is called as formulated under three laws, Kepler's laws of planetary motion. But this was again compiled, all these laws, compiled by these laws. He has given universal law of gravitation. Compiling all these laws, today we speak about universal law of gravitation. So remember, this is the one idea about the theories which we come across about the one gravitation. So at the most, remember today whatever we come across the universal law of gravitation, this did not arise in one day. Early by 2nd century itself it has started, and up to this we come across the one universal law of gravitation. And remember, these things were formulated by different physicists and also the astronomers, and finally Isaac Newton finally compiled them, and he has given this famous law called as, and he was famous about universal law of gravitation. Okay, right now I have explained many scientists' name, at the same time astronomer, but just I'll recall once what whatever the things I said just now. In the 2nd century, a scientist by name Ptolemy, he explained geocentric model. In his explanation, he said Earth is at the center and all the planets were revolving around it. At the same time, Earth is stationary and all these are revolving in the form of circles. Hence, we call it as the epicircles. So, at the same time, that model is called as geocentric model. But after him, by name Aryabhatta, in the 5th century, he explained about heliocentric theory, where the sun-centered theory, sun is at the center. At the same time, all the planets were revolving around it. He is a great mathematician. He also has given the concepts like solar eclipse. Today, whatever the calculations part we done is by learning lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, day and night concepts, all were given by our great Indian mathematician, astronomer Aryabhatta. But this was only, it was in India, it was not focused to the Western countries. Hence, he was not highlighted that. According to him, it was only written when it was agreed only in India. But after him, the Nicolaus Copernicus, in the Western countries, he explained heliocentric theory. But at the same time, the one religious people from their European countries, they did not agree whatever the one Copernicus said, and he was punished severely and he was sentenced to death. Because of that, he could not succeed there. After him, again we come across the one Galileo, where Galileo, he explained about the one concept heliocentric theory agreed, and finally he agreed the one heliocentric theory, whatever the one Copernicus said was correct, but at the same time he wanted to survive. Because of that, he said at the end the one geocentric theory, but finally he written in his narrative notebook where heliocentric theory was correct, and because of want to survive, I could not say it openly, he said. According to the one Galileo, we learned the one concept, the one heliocentric theory was correct. Similarly, after him, a Danish astronomer, Tycho Brahe, he observed all these things. He agreed heliocentric theory. At the same time, he observed all the observations through naked eye. Remember, you must appreciate him because at that time he was not having any telescope, and therefore he has seen through naked eye, collected all the data, and he was about to conclude. By the time it was not so. He was not able to conclude this. Finally, after him, his assistant, Johannes Kepler, a German physicist, he collected all the data, compiled them, and finally he came under 3 laws known as Kepler's laws of planetary motions. And after him, again a scientist by name Isaac Newton, he compiled these laws. Whatever the Kepler's laws were there, he has taken into consideration, he compiled them. Finally, he was able to prove universal law of gravitation. So, remember the one Tycho Brahe, who was the one person, he has given all the data. Because of his data, today we are able to learn up to the one universal law of gravitation. So, the one Tycho Brahe is the one person who is the most important to explain the one astronomical bodies about the data. Okay, so this is how we learn about the one introduction. Today I will explain all the introduction part, and I was about to go for Kepler's laws. So let me explain these Kepler's laws of planetary motion in my next class.